Greetings everybody and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back with the series we're doing for the month of November, my 30 favorite albums from the year 1979. Coming in here on day 12 is this album, Styx' Cornerstone. Yeah. Anyways, what we're doing here is I'm picking 30 albums for the month of November that are favorites of mine. They can be from any genre. I'm trying to stick with just 2 albums per band. In this case, it's not too tough because most bands at this point in time were only releasing 1 album anyways, or they weren't even releasing an album. Many of my favorites this year didn't put out albums. There's only 1 band with 2, one artist actually, with 2 albums on the list. Everybody else has 1. And Styx' Cornerstone is the Styx album that came out, I believe it was October 19th, 1979, on the A&M record label. I think this was a platinum album, triple platinum actually, so they had Grand Illusion, Pieces of 8, this one, and the next one, Paradise Theater, all triple platinum albums. I think that may be a record for bands, but I could be wrong. Anyways, great album. Absolutely killer. Is it the same as Pieces of 8 or Grand Illusion? Well, Grand Illusion to me had a lot of prog on it. It was a very proggy album in a lot of ways. Pieces of 8, similar but heavier. This one is much more, a lot softer of an album, I guess, a little more commercial sounding. The songs are a little bit more poppy. Well, actually, they're quite a bit more poppy. This had the big track, Babe, a song that I care never to hear again as long as I live, for my own personal reasons, but I won't get into that. However, there are some good tracks on this album for those of you who may have jumped off ship before this album or haven't gotten into the ship yet. There's some good stuff on here. Why Me is a great tune. I think it's one of Dennis DeYoung's better ones on this album anyways. I like it a lot. He shows off his vocal range. You got Boat on the River, which is kind of a it's a little bit of a pastoral song in some ways. They're all playing different instruments on this song than they normally play. I think there's a mandolin here. There's a few other different instruments on here. I'm not quite sure what they all are without looking. But really catchy tune. I think, like everybody on this album, this is among their better vocal albums. Very clear sounding, lots of nice textures, lots of differenceness, but just poppy, that's all. You just have to keep in mind it's poppy. Borrowed Time, of course, another good track. Eddie is that song that I didn't like initially, but I've really come to think of that as one of their better tracks on this album. About Edward, I think the song was written about Edward Kennedy, and it's sung by J.Y., so it's kind of a political song, and he tends to be a little bit on the political side, tries to be anyways. And then you have the final track on the album, Lovin' at Midnight, I think is one of Tommy Shaw's best vocal songs. Just really catchy, has such emotion, and that's the thing I love the most about Tommy, is the emotion that comes out of him when he sings. So this is a good album, a great album in some ways. Just not what people at this point in time that were moving along with Styx came to expect. To me, at the time when it first came out, I was a bit disappointed. It wasn't nearly as heavy as Pieces of 8, which is, you know, it's not going to win against that album. That's my favorite album of all time, over all bands. And this one is just a good album, not a great album. So, but I would have to say it definitely deserves to be on this list. It's just too good of an album to not listen to. And if for no other reason, it's so clear, and the vocals are among the best in Styx' history, I believe. So Styx Cornerstone is going to be the album of choice for me today on my favorite rock albums from 1979. So please put your comments about the album or what I've said or anything you want to talk about in the comment section below. It's much appreciated. Hit the like button. so that I know that this is pleasing to you, and continue to do some more of it. And then subscribe. Subscription is very good, and you can hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these videos. So have yourself a good day, and we will see you again tomorrow with another album from my series.